Happy Saturday, everybody! Today's episode of Month of Monsters is a little bit different. We're still going to talk about toys, but we're also talking about food. Or if sugary cereal counts as food, that's a discourse for another day. But we can talk about monster cereals because honestly, when it comes to monsters, Halloween, October, monster cereal comes to my mind and my stomach. This is something that I have loved most of my life. And I still love, and I love these characters. So we're going to go into like the basic history of the monster cereals, and we're going to go into which ones got toys, because that happened last year. We're also going to talk about the cereals themselves, because I actually went out and bought the cereal. Totally just bought the cereal for this video, no other purpose. But we have Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Boo Berry, and Fruit Brute. And on today's Food Network-esque show, I'm going to be trying these while also talking about the history of them. So, yeah, this is going to be different. We're going to talk about each of these individually in terms of, how they taste, how they feel, and if my 27-year-old stomach can handle any of this. We're going to find out. To counteract this, I have non-dairy milk, so hopefully I don't die. But we're gonna crack into Boo Berry first. Here's Boo Berry. Boo Berry is one of the staples. Like every year, they typically have Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Boo Berry, Fruit Brute. I actually haven't had single Fruit Brute before. I guess we should go into this before we do this. Last year, they put out this thing for the 50th called Monster Mash, which was really cool because it had all 5 of the cereals together. Fruit Brute and Yummy Mummy, they get left out a lot. They have come back in the modern era, but it's always like, oh, we only have Yummy Mummy for this one year. We only have Fruit Brute. I think there's only been a few times all 5 have been available because Yummy Mummy kind of replaced Fruit Brute back in the 80s. I'm just vamping on history when I should be eating cereal, but basically, the 5 of them were here and they threw all their marshmallows and stuff into one box. It was chaotic. I ate the whole box, as you can see from the empty box. But this was pretty cool. So this is kind of like the first time I ever had like any semblance of Fruit Brute or Yummy Mummy, because when I was a kid, they didn't offer either. And then the times they've offered them was when I was like in high school and college and adulthood, trying to like eat healthy or whatnot. And who cares about that? We're eating Boo Berry. Also interesting, this year's monster cereal box art was done by Cause. Cause is an artist, and that's actually pretty cool. I've actually gotten quite a few people over the years to do monster cereal box art. I'm not having a full bowl of each. Don't worry, you're not gonna watch me throw up on camera. We're gonna go with this. Classic Boo Berry little ghost pieces. You can't say that. There's little bat marshmallows. There's marshmallows. It's cool. It's fun. So, anyways, monster cereals for me have just been they're like a nostalgic throwback that still gets produced like 2 months out of the year. So I always appreciate that. And then I also appreciate that no matter what milk you use, I'm just gonna get really intimate with the camera here. Can we actually get that? There we go. See, the milk turns blue. So if you want your Star Wars milk, Boo Berry is the answer. And this is almond milk, so it's like any milk will change color, which says there was a lot of freaking food dye in this. Anyways, long story short, I've had Boo Berry before. Let's see if it still tastes good all these years later. I don't even know how to do food shows anymore, guys. This is the first time I've eaten food on camera, like ever. So enjoy. So the fun part is it's like 125% sugar, but it's got like this blueberry taste to it, and that's why it's Boo Berry, because it's blue. The fun part about this one, I think, is that it hits you with a lot of flavor, but it's not like a super sweet. So this one's kind of like more tart than it is sweet, and I think that that's what kind of gives Boo Berry like some distinctiveness. Also, the marshmallows just taste like pure sugar. And I think a lot of times, the actual like cereal part is kind of more enjoyable. Now this video is going to be like 20 minutes long as I'm saying soliloquies about monster cereals. So I'm going to stop there, and we'll come back to the next cereal. But I realized we haven't even run the title card yet. So enjoy the title card! Hello, this is Soundout here, and I don't know why I'm bothering to do a proper introduction. It's habit. We just did several minutes of blueberry tasting, but the monster cereals started in 1971 with Count Chocula and Frankenberry, and the commercial advertisements pitted them as rivals against each other, fighting it out to decide whose cereal was best, hence why we're trying all the cereals to decide which one's the best one. But I will say with these two, they're the most famous, but Blueberry came in 1973 and he's stuck around with them. They've been a nice little trio. Fruit Brute came in 74, but was discontinued in 82, I believe. And then Yummy Mummy came in 88 and then was discontinued like a couple years later. So we've always had kind of like the two extra guys, but the main three have always been here. So we tried Blueberry, and I think that Blueberry for me, I don't know if it was my favorite before. I don't know if it is my favorite because we only had one of these. But let's talk about Count Chocula next, because Count Chocula, he's a vampire. I guess I didn't really talk about who Blueberry is. Blueberry's a ghost, guys. Did you know? So Blueberry's a ghost. He's pretty cool. He's got kind of like this little like Casper-esque personality. Count Chocula's supposed to be like, vampire. Does that make him a better vampire than Dracula? I don't know, and I don't know how Vampire Week went, so I don't know if there's any other vampires to compare it to, but Count Chocula, looking pretty cool. So, this dude is chocolate, like straight up, his cereal is chocolate. I'm gonna pour less, because I ended up like tossing a bunch of Blueberry. Look, here's the sad part. I don't like to waste food, but if I ate as much as I was putting into these bowls, I probably would throw up. Anyways, these are fun nostalgic throwbacks, but like, boy, it's either I eat one bowl or a little bit of each of them. Because this is, I know my stomach's just going to be like when I had Monster Mash last year. And you're probably like, how do you actually process all of this cereal and like are fairly slim? It's because I have a fast metabolism. It's a blessing, but also a curse. I'm hungry all the time. We're getting into like all the food stuff. Anyways, can you imagine if you put the Count Chocula cereal into milk, it makes the milk brown-ish. It actually looks the same color as the Blueberry. I don't know how to do this without like spilling, but we're gonna like show the audience the milk has changed color. Okay, so Count Chocula. Here's a fun thing. Have you ever had like Cocoa Pebbles, which is a pretty popular flavor of like Fruity Pebbles? It's kind of like that, but with marshmallows. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I still like the Count Chocula. Yeah, no, this one hits you with like a really good like chocolate sensation, which I think that, like the fruitier ones, you sort of get like the cereal part of it's fruity mixed with like the fruity like marshmallow. This one's like chocolate with the marshmallow. I think I actually like it more in a lot of ways than I do Blueberry. No offense to Blueberry. I don't know. This is an interesting like taste experiment. But in terms of Count Chocula, he's done a lot of great stuff. He's been kind of like the face of it with Frankenberry. I think they're the two most famous, even though it's been a trio for a while. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop that, or else I'm not gonna have like stomach for the other two. Jada Toys. Jada Toys in 20... God, the cereal's distracting me. Jada Toys 2021 was like, hey, we're making Universal Monsters. And they're like, hey, we're making the cereal monsters. And I was like, sign me up. Yes. So, of course, in 2021, this is our little transition point, Count Chocula was released as an action figure in the 6-inch scale for about, what was he, 25 bucks? Let's take a look at the Count Chocula action figure and see if he lives up to the hype of his cereal. So the packaging on these Jada figures is excellent. It is the cereal box that you would know and love for Count Chocula, but it's also an action figure. On the side, you can see that's got a wonderful shot of Count Chocula and a lot of great retro throwback artwork to some of those original packaging designs. Looking at the back of the box, I think it's really cool that they included all 5 monsters on here. It's not just the 2 they made figures of, and that's why I also hope that we'll probably see Fruit Brute, Yummy Mummy, and Blueberry in the future, because I mean, look at them. They're all in the box there together. I also do like that Yummy Mummy says mine is a rare treasure that hasn't been touched in years. Yeah, because they don't offer you much. The side of the packaging is actually one of my favorite details. It's action figure facts instead of nutrition facts, and it gives you all the detail about what it is and what it looks like, and it's really fun. It's playing on the packaging style. Much like Neca figures, the front part opens up to show the figure inside, and you can see a nice shot of Count Chocula himself surrounded by his accessories. Looking at Mr. Count Chocula here, he just looks fantastic. They nailed the proportions, the cartoony look, the smoother edges, just because he is supposed to be that cartoony cereal mascot, and I think it just came together really nicely. Looking at the head is large, it's goofy, it's cartoony, it's got that Count Chocula expression you would most recognize with the character, and I think it's just fantastic. On the back, of course, he has the cape, which just drapes all the way down his back. And yeah, I mean, what else can I say besides this looks like Count Chocula from the commercials stepped into an action figure. And I'm especially impressed with some of the paint work, like the extra white on his shoes. It's really clean, it's really sharp. There's not a ton of paint detail on this guy, but every paint detail he has is really well replicated. Once again, surprising amount of articulation from Jada. He's got a ball jointed head, which moves really, really well. He's got outward shoulders, 360 shoulders. He's got an elbow bend, an elbow swivel. He's got a wrist that pivots in and out and swivels. He's got hips that move out, forward, move back, double jointed knee on Count Chocula. Ankles that pivot left and right, up and down, and a waist swivel. This means, yes, your Count Chocula action figure can get into kung fu poses. Isn't that always what we've wanted from Count Chocula? I love how Jada just takes these things to a new level. He also comes with an alternate head with a different expression, one that looks very excited to be chomping down on some Count Chocula cereal, and I just love that. This also pairs well with his other accessory being a Count Chocula cereal box that he can hold, which is fantastic. Looking at this thing, it's got the classic Count Chocula look to it, it's got the classic artwork, it's got the bowl of cereal, it's replicated all the way down to trademarks. On the back, you have a imitation of the cutout mask that was seen in a lot of the earlier boxes, and I love the tagline of "Fool your friends, play monster." And playing around with Jada's scale themselves, you can actually have Count Chocula offer Count Dracula some cereal. Though I'm not too sure if Count Dracula is quite impressed by what he's been given. Overall, this Count Chocula figure is way better than it has any right to be, and I love it for that. This is an excellent representation of the character and an excellent action figure in its own right. So the Count Chocula figure's pretty cool, but there was a wave mate, and of course, that was Frankenberry. Now, my thing here's Frankenberry. Frankenstein's monster-looking dude. Pretty much, I like his vibe. I like Frankenberry's vibe. His is a strawberry berry, where this is like a berry, and it's weird. Count Chocula, you're the only one that's not fruit-based. Anyways, we're going to Frankenberry. So here's my thing, right? Jada Toys, love this company. They made kind of fun die-cast stuff, and then suddenly they're like, here's action figures, and I'm like, cool. I poured too much. I like so much of what they're doing. You know, they got like a Universal Monsters line, they did the Cereal Monsters, they're doing Street Fighter and Mega Man, and there's a Chester Cheetah coming up. I'm like, yes, I'll probably be buying all of those. But my one thing is like, okay, I know you announced Chester Cheetah, I know you announced Street Fighter, big licenses, got it. Where's the rest of the Cereal Monsters? All right, like they said at Comic-Con, Chester Cheetah happened because the Cereal Monsters happened. Where's my Boo Berry? Where's my Fruit Brute? Where's my Yummy Mummy? At least Boo Berry. Anyways, we're gonna look at the Frankenberry figure, but first, of course, we gotta look at the Frankenberry cereal. Current status, stomach-wise, a little gassy. Not gonna lie, I've consumed a lot of sugar. I am hoping this turns pink, but it's not turning pink at the moment. The Boo Berry went blue, like instantly. This one's, the milk does eventually change color, I think, something like that. I don't know. Anyways, Frankenberry, we got his marshmallow here, we got his strawberry frickin' cereal. I don't know where I'm going with this, we're just gonna eat it. Yeah, so that's incredibly sweet. I kind of forget that Frankenberry has like an incredible sweet taste to it. The Boo Berry, like I said, is more tart. Of course, Count Chocula is just chocolate. Frankenberry's pretty sweet. Like this is a very sweet cereal. And almost in a way, I think it's almost too sweet. A little bit too sweet. But it's pretty good. Man, I still gotta eat like one more little couple bites of a cereal in a bit here, and I don't have my stomach's ready. So, on that note, while I go process food, you guys get to look at the Frankenberry action figure. Much like Chocula, Frankenberry comes in that same style packaging with the really nice artwork that reminisces the original packaging of the cereal. On the side, of course, we have a nice shot of the figure with some artwork behind it. On the opposite side, the action figure facts return, which is one of my favorite things that we got there. I love the attention to detail. They really wanted to make this look like a cereal box. On the back, you have similar artwork to what was on Count Chocula, except now they swapped in Frankenberry. It's mostly the same, but I love to see just the look of it. It's got a great vintage vibe to it. And of course, he does have an opening front flap, which is magnetic on these as opposed to Velcro on Neca. As you can see, Frankenberry there with his accessories looks really cool, but let's get him out of that box. So here's Frankenberry. He has a little bit trouble standing due to his proportions, but that's understandable due to, just how he's designed. But he looks really great. Really nice, vibrant color usage. Even going down to the back, I like that the chains are painted all the way across, so he's got those suspenders holding up his pants in both directions. And the head sculpt is just great. I love the gauges. I love every little painted detail that was done here. The expressiveness of the expression, it's very much Frankenberry. They even worked in details down to his fingernails, such as having the strawberry fingernails. That is insanely detailed, it is nicely sculpted and nicely painted, and it's a job well done. Articulation-wise, his head is on a ball joint stem system we'll look at in a moment, so it's got a lot of range. He's got shoulders that move out, they're a little stiff. They move 360. His elbow does bend, it does rotate, his wrist rotates and pivots in and out. Doesn't have a waist swivel, even though it looks like he should. It doesn't want to move for me. Hips to move out, forward and back, a thigh swivel, a double jointed knee, which is pretty good, and an ankle that pivots left and right, forward and back. Here is how the neck joint works, which is really interesting. And this allows him to swap heads to a much more expressive face, as we can see here. And I love this one. I love just how overly expressive he is. He's terrific. Naturally, he does come with a cereal box, this of course being the Frankenberry box, which of course is Frankenberry in a small box form. And he's got the mask on the back, and I should mention that these are like two pieces of plastic put together, so they do have kind of a hollow feeling to them, but it does feel like a tiny cereal box. Naturally, Frankenberry can show off his cereal box, and I love the inclusion of the cereal boxes. It adds to the way the characters were in the commercials, and I think it just is the perfect accessory for these characters. And of course, he can give the cereal to Frankenstein, but Frankenstein's not so receiving as Dracula was. Having these two together is an absolute joy, and I hope we see the other monsters in the lineup because, well, why stop at 2? We could do all 5. Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm here for it. These are awesome. So that's pretty much it for Monster Cereal action figures, which is a little bit of a bummer, but I'm actually hoping we get those other 3 monsters. It'd be really nice. Adding to that, the Monster Cereals, I think, are kind of like a nice little yearly tradition, but I've noticed Kellogg's been moving into that space. There's a Hocus Pocus 2 cereal, which is a limited edition berry brew. No marshmallows, just flavored berry. I'm not trying all these, don't worry. I'm gonna, survive. Reese's Puffs got bats now. And they got, monsters on the back. Alright. See, I'm seeing the influence here. I mean, look at this. This is chocolate Frosted Flakes with Frankenstein, bat, and ghost frickin' marshmallow. This is not just... Kellogg's, you have no shame. I mean, Tony the Tiger's looking all Frankenstein monster here, but those are the same 3 as the main 3 of your competitor. Anywho, also, Cheerios did pumpkin spice. I like Cheerios. I like Honey Nut Cheerios. Cheerios is usually my go-to cereal because it doesn't make my stomach hurt. I don't know how this is gonna go, but we'll try that out later. That's for me to find out and you for never to hear the answer on. But in terms of the monster cereals, I think they're always kind of an iconic part of Halloween, at least for me. And while, as a kid, I probably ate way too much of it, and as an adult, I probably could handle more if I was, sitting and casually eating a bowl for, 15 minutes. or like watching a monster movie while eating cereal, which is like my favorite thing. But yeah, I've never actually had Fruit Brute until today, like Fruit Brute on its own. I've missed it in the times they've redone it in the past, and it was discontinued before I was born. So there's that. But we're gonna try Fruit Brute as a way to close out this video. And I apologize, this has been really rambly and kind of like all over the place. It's what I do. Sometimes, it's really fun to have like a solid script, like I have been for a lot of this stuff. We didn't get too many marshmallows in this, but that's okay. It's one of those things where it's like, I just like talking about things I like, and I thought, cereal, it's a casual thing, it's a breakfast thing. Sugary cereal, that's a Saturday morning thing. This video's going up on a Saturday afternoon. You know what? For some people, Saturday afternoon is Saturday morning. And that's okay, and that's cool. And for me, I like these things. I like these. I'm gonna add a little bit more milk this time. I want my Fruit Brute experience to be good. I'm smelling it already. This is supposedly cherry. I know the original Fruit Brute was lime or something, but they've made it cherry. So I've got a marshmallow, got a scoop of Fruit Brute. Here we go. Wow, that's actually pretty good. Holy cow. Artificially flavored cherry. That's actually it's a pretty powerful flavor. It's not too sweet like Frankenberry. It's not too tart like Blueberry. It's kind of in the middle. Like, I don't know if this is just because it's like a fresh experience. Boy, that's like my favorite now. I don't know if it's just because it's new to me, but I think it beats the Count Chocula. So if I were to rank these, alright, I'm not gonna eat anymore. If I were to rank these, I think my Fruit Brute's my favorite now. It's not just because he's a werewolf. By the way, I do appreciate they went more Cause inspired with these, but for Fruit Brute they kind of went more classic with him. So thanks Cause for that. But anyways, here's the thing. First of all, this is 15.8 ounces for the Fruit Brute. Everybody else is 1 pound. Our freaking Count Chocula is 18.8 ounces. I didn't even notice that. These are all the same price. Anyways, Fruit Brute is my new favorite now because I like the fruit. It's very strong. I think Chocula has been my favorite, but he's going to be number 2. Let's see. I think I'm gonna put Blueberry at the bottom, Frankenberry next one. I love all these characters equally. Honestly, I don't think I have like a favorite character-wise. But cereal rises is my ranking. I'm gonna say I like the Fruit Brute the most. The Chocula the second. And these guys they're about the same, honestly, for me. So that's it. That's my monster cereal. I really want more Fruit Brute. That actually, like, I have to stop. Anyways, that does it for this video. If you enjoyed it, I hope you did. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Because if I'm looking at my future schedule, haven't shot it yet, but Frankenstein Week is starting tomorrow. And Frankenstein Week, unlike all the other theme week, is going to be 7 days instead of 5. So hopefully everything's been going smooth and no major mishaps have happened over the last, couple weeks of videos. I'm going to go work on those videos, actually. I think this is the last one that I'm shooting in advance for the month of monsters. So I hope you all have been enjoying this month so far. I hope you'll stay tuned for our last themed week, and stay tuned for what surprises will come on Halloween itself. But yeah, stay tuned. Frankenstein Week starts tomorrow, and my stomach cramp starts now.